Yes. There is a small interruption, sudden, system issue. No issue, no problem. Let's continue because multiple applications were opened actually on the system, but that's okay, not an issue. Fine. Let's continue now. Just 1 minute. Let me check once. Yes. Sorry for the interruption. Let's continue now. So you see, when auditor is properly doing an audit and giving an opinion, he talk about audit responsibility so in depth. He talk about audit responsibility so in depth, identifying, assessing risk, obtaining internal control understanding, evaluating accounting policies, and concluding appropriateness of management's use of going concern. Everything he will talk. Yes or no? And he will also talk about one more point. In case of fair presentation framework, just a minute, evaluate overall presentation and structure. Evaluating overall presentation structure content. Overall presentation structure content, including disclosures, whether financial statements are representing underlying transactions and events in a manner that achieve fair presentation. So auditor has to check whether financial statements are showing underlying transaction correctly. This point is most important in case of fair presentation framework. Sir, what is a fair presentation framework? What is a compliance framework? What is a general purpose framework? What is a special purpose framework? I already told you. Please refer CA Inter fundamentals topic. I clearly mentioned in that. Next, and further, auditor responsibility section, audit over, we communicate with management. We also provide top management regarding that relevant ethical requirements. From matters communicated, we select some matters as key audit matter. Communication responsibilities, in ICAI book how it is explained. What are auditor responsibility section? What are auditor responsibility section? Come back to our 700 standard. You see, what are auditor responsibilities? You see here, whatever I showed, right? Generally, when you are giving unmodified opinion, qualified opinion, adverse opinion, auditor responsibility section will be so big. Whereas when you are giving disclaimer of opinion, auditor responsibility section, what should be there? 705 gives explanation for that. When you are giving adverse opinion, qualified or unqualified, what should be the content of auditor responsibility section in the audit report? These are the contents. So auditor responsibility is broadly divided into three categories: primary responsibility, additional responsibilities under SA, communication responsibilities. Communication responsibilities means what? In 260 standard we are going to discuss in depth about this. We are going to discuss 260 standard. We have a chapter called audit evidence. All that gap chapter is there, second chapter. Inside that we are going to discuss 260 standard. There I will talk about communication responsibilities. Then what are various responsibilities of auditor? His responsibilities to obtain reasonable assurance whether financial statements are free from material misstatements or not. Yes or no? Reasonable assurance and issue audit report. Reasonable is a high level of assurance but not a guarantee. Mistakes may arise from fraud or error and are material if they can influence the user's decision. Additional responsibilities: auditor must exercise judgment, must maintain skepticism throughout the audit. Your responsibility is to identify and assess the risk, respond to the risk, get an evidence, get an understanding of control, accounting policy, going concern, evaluate presentation structure and disclosures. Presentation structure, disclosures, fair presentation framework. That time you should do that. The same thing is what given in 700 also, right? The same. Look, whatever is there in audit report only there in your ICAI book, man. You are studying theoretically. This is how it will be asked in exam. Now, you have not seen this question. What if auditor is giving disclaimer of opinion? If a disclaimer of opinion is given, how auditor responsibility section will be? In our book, it is given clearly in 705. In 705, you should read the subject like this. You see, I will show you. Suppose we are giving disclaimer of opinion, right? If we are giving disclaimer of opinion, you see here, what are auditor responsibilities in case of disclaimer of opinion? Content, this is nothing but content of auditor responsibility section in case of disclaimer. What is the content? When disclaiming opinion, the auditor shall amend auditor's responsibility section to include only the following points: a statement that auditor is responsible to conduct audit as per standards and issue audit report, and a statement that because of basis for disclaimer auditor could not obtain evidence, and a statement about independence and ethical requirements. Remember, key audit matter section shall not be included when a disclaimer of opinion is given. Sir, what is key audit matter? We will discuss that later. So when you are giving a disclaimer of opinion, auditor responsibility section will not be so big. Primary responsibility, additional responsibility, communication responsibility, all that don't need to communicate. Simply you just have to tell. You might have seen this point. I don't know how many of you have understood this when you really studied. When you originally studied, I don't know how many of you have understood this. That's why you should study, learn practically, not theoretically. Getting it? Now, just a minute. That's it. I'm just looking at it. Yes. Next. So typically right now opinions discussion is almost done. Just one more point is there. Now, sir, okay, I understood. When we are giving unqualified opinion, simple opinion heading, basis for opinion will be there. We understood. When you are giving qualified opinion, side heading qualified, and here basis for qualified, opinion section, in our opinion, to the best of our information, except for the effect of the matter described in basis for qualified opinion section. Whereas adverse, because of significance of the matter described in basis for adverse opinion section. Whereas disclaimer, straight away our wordings of opinion, we do not express opinion because of significance of matter. Now coming to basis for disclaimer opinion section. Basis for basis for opinion. Generally basis for opinion will, in case of unqualified opinion, single para will be there. We conduct audit as per standards. Our responsibilities are like that. We are ethical. We fulfill ethical responsibilities. We obtain sufficient appropriate evidence. Like that, 5 points will be there. What 5 points? We already saw. In 700 in the same GOAT notes, you will see contents of audit report, title, addressee, contents, below that explanation for each and every term, basis for opinion, what points will be there. Those 5 points will not be there when auditor is giving disclaimer of opinion. Basis for disclaimer of opinion will straight away talk about why you are disclaiming. But when you are giving basis for adverse opinion, when you are expressing basis for qualified, or when you are giving an unqualified, basis for adverse opinion will contain those 5 statements also. Further, if at all you are giving a modified opinion because you are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence, then describe the reason for the inability. Describe what happened. Now we saw disclaimer of opinion. The auditor could not get investment related, some evidence he could not get. That investment represents 90% of the net assets of the company. Why he could not get that reason and all they showed in the illustration. The same illustration is what there in your book also, man. Please kindly open the ICAI book and then see. You are studying. If at all your book is not having any of these points, that means the book which you are following is completely fake. Ignore that. Don't expect a simple straight question in audit. That is the reason why many students are failing in audit. Realize now, this is the standard at which they test. For your information, this question is there, right now I'm discussing. By the way, in case of disclaimer of opinion, what auditor shall not include? Auditor shall not include. Where he shall not include? In basis for modified opinion section. The auditor shall not include in basis for modified opinion section. Nothing but disclaimer of opinion means basis for disclaimer of opinion section is there, right? You should not talk about the 5 statements. Like what are they? A reference to auditor responsibility section, a statement whether evidence is obtained. Not only these 2. Actually in the ICAI book they only said these 2 points, but actually 5 statements you should not include. What matters you should not include? I will show you. Wait. Just a minute. You see here, when auditor is giving, generally basis for opinion section will have these 5 points. What are the 5 points basis for opinion will have? State that you conducted audit as per standards. Refer to section that contains auditor responsibilities. State that auditor is independent and complied with ethical requirements. State that auditor has obtained sufficient appropriate evidence. All these statements you must include in basis for opinion section. When you will give all these 5 points or 4 points, unqualified opinion, qualified opinion, adverse opinion. In all these cases, basis for opinion, basis for qualified opinion, basis for adverse. In all these cases, these 4 statements you can include happily. But when you are giving disclaimer of opinion, basis for disclaimer of opinion. Basis for disclaimer of opinion will be, in case of basis for disclaimer, you should not include these 4 statements. You know what? This question was asked in Jan 25 of CA Inter. This question was asked in CA final in the past 3 years itself. When auditor is giving disclaimer, basis for disclaimer of opinion shall not contain certain statements. What are they? 4 or 5 marks question. Or they may straight away ask you a 4 marks question. What should be the points auditor has to mention in basis for opinion? A straight question can come. So don't take it granted. Getting it? So understand what you're reading, comprehend what you're reading, learn contextually. That's it. So with this, opinion discussion is predominantly over. Now let's once go back to 705 and finish 705 and come back. Now 705, where under what circumstances I will modify. Just now even in 700 I told, in when I will modify, financial statements are not free from MMS, or you are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence to conclude that financials are free from MMS. In these 2 circumstances I will give modified opinion. Now types of modified opinion we already covered. Definitions: auditor disclaims opinion in a rare case. Disclaimer is not a routine case, it's a very rare case involving multiple uncertainties. Uncertainties prevent the auditor from forming an opinion. That is when auditor will give a disclaimer. Next, remember, ultimately, sir, which type of opinion, which type of modified opinion I should give ultimately? In exam they will ask you this question: which type of modified, suppose you decided to give modified opinion, which type of modified opinion? Table you saw, material misstatement like this. But in exam, if a theory question comes, you can't write like this. No, how you should write? This one. Which type of modified opinion auditor shall give? It depends upon what is the nature of the matter. Why you want to modify? 2 reasons. Any 2 reasons. One reason is what? Sir, evidence is there, sir. Mistake is found, sir. That is one reason. Another reason is what? Evidence is not there and it is a material item. So possible mistake is possibility is there. So what is the nature of the matter? 2 items. What is the nature of the matter? Whether financials are materially misstated, is it the reason you want to modify? Or you are unable to obtain evidence, that is the reason you want to modify? Check out. Okay. Then once you decide the reason, first primary reason, you found a material mistake or you are unable to get evidence. Okay, primary reason you decided. What is its pervasiveness? What is the pervasiveness of the effect of the matter or possible effect of the matter on the financials? Remember, when do I say simply the word effect? When evidence is available. Possible effect word when I will use when evidence is not available. Able to understand? So which type of modified opinion? Sir, nature of matter, no, material mistake is there, sir, but not pervasive, sir. Effect, qualified opinion. Sir, nature of matter, material mistake is there, sir, pervasive, sir. Adverse opinion. Sir, nature of the matter, no, not mistake, sir. I did not get evidence, sir, and it is a material but not pervasive, sir. Then qualified. Material and pervasive, then disclaimer. That is what this entire, this matter, whatever this matter is expressed in the form of a diagram here to make you clearly understand. Then finally in 705 there is one more requirement. Suppose, if management imposes limitation, you are unable to get, you're unable to obtain evidence. Why you are unable to obtain evidence? No, management imposed limitation. Very simple. Management is not permitting you, they're not cooperating you. If that is the case, if after accepting the audit, you might have studied in CA Inter 210 terms of engagement, before accepting the audit, if at all management imposes limitation, you will not do the audit, you will not at all accept the audit. What if you accepted the audit and now management is imposing limitation? In such a case, the auditor shall request the management, please give me, cooperate me, I will do the audit. You request them. Management is refusing. They are not removing limitation, they are still restricting you, they are not giving you information which you are asking for. Communicate to higher level management, those charged with governance. Determine alternative procedures can be performed. See whether alternatively can you obtain evidence or not. Sir, third party I want to talk, sir. Company is not permitting me at all. Third party is not, I want to talk with third party. Sir, our inventory is lying in some godown, sir. Company godown is at a remote locality. We are unable to go there. Management is not telling me how to go there. They're restricting me to go there. Do one thing. See whether can you get evidence regarding inventory there in the godown which is at remote location, right? Can you get that evidence through CCTV camera access or some other way? Just try that. For example, You are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence even through alternative process. Sir, alternative also not there. Management is restricting. Alternatively also I'm not getting evidence. Ultimately I did not get evidence, sir. What I should do? Okay, you did not get evidence, right? Do one thing. What is its possible effect? What is its possible effect of undetected misstatement? Sir, it is material, sir, but not pervasive. Then do one thing. Proceed audit. Give a qualified opinion. Say that they did give evidence. In basis for qualified opinion section, mention that limitation. Sir, it is material and pervasive, sir. They are not at all letting me verify even a single document. Then how can I give opinion? If at all you are unable to give opinion at all, you are unable to do audit at all, directly resign, withdraw from audit where possible, resign. Sir, resignation not possible, sir. I am a listed company auditor, resignation is not possible, then disclaim the opinion. If resignation is not possible, give a disclaimer of opinion, simple. You must give audit report, you didn't do audit, yes. You don't have opinion, I don't have opinion. Then do one thing, give disclaimer of opinion, over. Now you see, sir, like you said, no, withdrawal is not possible. Where, sir? Resignation, where it is not possible? For example, just 1 minute. For example, yeah, for example, in a listed company, no, as per LODR regulations, no, if I want to resign within 45 days from end of a quarter, suppose a quarter started, quarter 1, April 1st to June 30, quarter over, then I want to resign. After completion of the quarter, you want to resign. From the end of the quarter, within 45 days, you want to resign. You must give a review report or audit report for that quarter and then resign. You can't resign just like that on any day you want. Sir, I want to resign, sir. Before 30 June, I want to resign. Happily go and resign. Happily go and resign. No problem. But 30th June crossed. Quarter 1 completed. Now you want to resign, which comes within 45 days from the end of June 30. Then give review report. Suppose if at all you want to resign after 45 days from the end of the quarter, you must issue audit or review report, either audit report or review report for that quarter as well as the next quarter. And you know one more thing, an auditor who has done 3 quarterly review reports, then auditor shall issue full audit report before resignation. I think those of you who are already watching my EVO fast track class or regular class, here I have discussed some more in-depth point. But from basically this is enough. From revision point of view, this is sufficient. But remember, whatever points we discussed in our fast track class, please you stick to that explanation. This is enough from revision students point of view. Next, and further, when you're resigning as an auditor from a unlisted company, especially for unlisted company, when you're resigning, you should give a resignation letter to the company management, right? In the resignation letter, you should clearly mention professional preoccupation. You cannot mention that. You cannot mention professional preoccupation. What does it mean? I gave a resignation letter to the company saying, sorry sir, I accepted accidentally, I actually have so many other works, sir, so professional, I'm very occupied, that is the reason I'm resigning. That is not a valid reason. Every one of you might know SQC, in that one of the element of quality control, acceptance and continuation of client relationship, inside one of the point is you should consider capability, time, availability of resource. Only then you should accept the audit. If you accepted audit without checking your preoccupied commitments, that's a guilty of professional misconduct. It's an SQC violation. Under professional ethics, you can be treated as guilty. Clause number 9, part number 1, schedule number 2. In that you failed to comply with gap SQC, you failed to comply, they can punish you. So when you're accepting audit itself, you should check whether you have sufficient time or not. After accepting audit, when you're resigning, no, you should clearly tell the management why you are resigning clearly. Don't escape by saying I'm already having various other works, that's why I'm resigning. So ICAI has given an announcement where an auditor resigning, especially from unlisted company, you must provide clear reason why you are resigning. Sir, for listed company, no need to give like this. For listed company, can I mention this reason? It's not about listed company. For listed companies, SEBI guidelines have already given resignation related formalities. That's why ICAI is speaking about unlisted company. That's it. ICAI is talking about unlisted company only because listed company already SEBI gave guidelines. That's the reason. So many students misinterpret here. For listed company, this reason can be mentioned. That's wrong. For listed company, How to resign, SEBI has already given guidelines that you will follow. For unlisted company, when you're resigning, when you're giving reason to the company or ICAI, you cannot mention professional preoccupation as a reason. MCQ it can be asked. MCQ it can be asked. This is also MCQ it can be asked. Finally, before withdrawal, you want to resign, resignation is permitted, you want to resign, you resign, no problem. But some audit you might have done, a little bit of verification you might have done, some mistakes you would have found out, no, if at all you found any mistakes, no, just to communicate management the mistakes alone and then resign. Before withdrawing, the auditor shall communicate to the top management any material mistakes identified during the audit that would have caused you to give a modified opinion. Some mistakes you would have found, no, which because of that also you decided to give modified opinion, right? That will impact your opinion, right? Those mistakes communicate to the top management before you resign. That's it. Then finally, I think entire 705 is over. And here there is one important point: other considerations related to adverse opinion disclaimer in the recent number 24 exam related to this 805 question they asked. In SA 805 they have asked one question. When I'm discussing 805, I will tell you very simple. What is this, sir? For example, no, I'm giving adverse or disclaimer of opinion on the financials. Auditor is expressing adverse or disclaimer of opinion on financials. Now, in that audit report, there are some restrictions. What restrictions? The audit report shall not include unmodified opinion on a single financial statement or specific element, all that. What does it mean? Let me keep it pending and I will discuss it, emphasis of matter paragraph 706. Then we will continue discussion on this. Okay. Reason for restriction. See, very simple. You are giving adverse opinion on financials. Adverse means what? They are not at all true and fair. Disclaimer means what? I don't have opinion. In the same audit report, you should not talk about any single financial statement or specific element or account by giving unmodified opinion. In the same audit report, where you said everything is wrong, where you said you don't have an opinion at all, adverse or disclaimer you gave in the same audit report regarding one item of the financial, you cannot give unmodified opinion. Indirectly, what does it mean? You know, emphasis of matter paragraph you cannot use when the auditor is giving adverse opinion or disclaimer of opinion. That's what it indirectly means. Sir, how emphasis, sir? If you remember, emphasis of matter paragraph means what? It's a paragraph in the audit report where I highlight matter presented or disclosed in financials. Rightly presented, rightly, appropriately presented, appropriately. You just see emphasis of matter paragraph definition. What is an emphasis of matter paragraph? Emphasis of, I'm discussing right now 706 guys, 706 EOMP alone we will discuss and we'll wind up this session. Then other matter paragraph we'll discuss in the next session. Okay, emphasis of matter paragraph. Emphasis of matter paragraph is a paragraph in the audit report. Okay, it's a para in audit report. Oh, okay, what is it? It is referring to a matter. Okay, what matter? Which is appropriately presented or disclosed in the financial statements. Oh, in the financials some matter is presented or disclosed. Okay, that we are referring in audit report. Like, why, sir? Okay, okay, fine. Let me complete. That in auditor's judgment is important for fundamental understanding of the users. From auditor point of view, in the financials, some point is there which is very important for users. I am highlighting that point and that para is called as emphasis. Very simple. For example, no, I will show you Air India related audit report. Okay, for your information, I'll just show you. So Air India related, annual report. This is very old annual report, 2021 related one. So 2021. 2020-2021 related. You see this annual report, you just see here 1000 pages annual report is 1000 pages annual report. Who will read, guys? And inside that balance sheet, P&L, financial statements, how many pages? I'll show you. You see, balance sheet starts at this 112 page and balance sheet will end almost at 200th page, almost 100 pages notes to accounts. Balance sheet, P&L, cash flow notes, everything put together almost 100 pages. Now tell me, as an auditor, should you read the entire balance sheet P&L cash flow notes, or you also read on a sample basis? Array, you are signing balance sheet P&L, man. You must read 100% of the notes to account balance sheet P&L. You can't have, a sample basis. You can't read it on a sample basis. You have to read 100%. Okay, sir, I will read it. Now, when you're reading entire this notes, no, definitely you would have felt, some important point. You would have found out, right? Yes, sir. Like for example, I will show you independent audit report is there. 57th page it is there. Just a minute. You see, this is the audit report of Air India. Remember, title same, just like our book. Title: to the members of the company, report on financial statements, qualified opinion. The auditor gave qualified. Same para, we have audited financial statements of the company, yes or no, in our opinion, to the best of our information. You see here, except for effect of the matter described in basis for qualified opinion section of our report, yes or no, the aforesaid financial statements are giving true and fair view. Then again you see, just a minute, yeah, then basis for qualified opinion, Air India auditors gave a qualified opinion. Basis for qualified opinion, they're telling about various reasons why they gave a qualified opinion. Then again, we conducted our audit as per standards on auditing. All the 5 statements were there, you see. Then material uncertainty related to going concern, I'll come back to it later, man. Emphasis of matter. What is emphasis of matter? We draw attention to note number 29, which is dealing with some COVID related issue. Note number 26 relating to some penal charges. Note number 49 deferred tax asset. Note number 46 so and so. And at the end of the para, at the end of the emphasis of matter, last line, our opinion is not modified. What is he saying? Emphasis of matter para, side heading he kept. Okay, auditor put a side heading emphasis of matter in the audit report. Okay, what is he doing? We draw attention to. Okay, note number 24, note number 29, note number 26, note number 46 in the financials. Oh, in financials, there some points were there. He is drawing attention. So I'm reading audit report, this audit report. Immediately what I got to know, I need to go open and those note points and see. Why I need to see? Is there anything wrong? No. Our opinion is not modified. Auditor is clearly saying nothing is wrong inside that. And then why are you highlighting? They are important. They are fundamental for understanding of financial statements. That's why you need to read them. Emphasis of matter paragraph. Emphasis, highlight. See what am I doing right now? Highlight. Yes or no? Emphasis of matter paragraph in the audit report is a para where auditor can highlight some information presented or disclosed in financial statements. Some information is presented or disclosed in financials that auditor can highlight. When auditor can highlight, you see, only when the matter is appropriately presented or disclosed. What does it mean? That matter is rightly presented. For example, you see usage of emphasis of matter para. Emphasis of matter para can be included only for a particular matter. Note number 26 you want to highlight. Then note number 26 should not have a modified opinion. Means what? On note number 26 you should not give any modified opinion. That should be true and fair. That is appropriately presented. That is appropriately disclosed. Which means in financial statements, if any note point is rightly presented or rightly disclosed, which is free from MMS, you already have evidence for that. That only you can highlight under emphasis of matter para. And that matter is not decided as a key audit matter. It is also not decided as a key audit matter. So a financial statements, balance sheet, P&L, cash flow notes, it contains some matter which is important according to you to the users. That's why you see once again the definition. Emphasis of matter paragraph is a para, yes or no, which is appropriately presented or disclosed in the financials in auditor's judgment, is important for fundamental understanding of the users of the financials. From auditor point of view, it is fundamental for users understanding. Now what are the examples of emphasis of matter? What are all I can highlight? You can highlight about uncertainty. Air India highlighted about COVID. You can highlight about catastrophe. You can highlight about subsequent event. You can highlight about early application of accounting standards. For example, for my company, Ind AS does not apply, or I'm preparing balance sheet P&L as per some other format, and I mentioned that details in notes to account. Highlight that. This is what we do in 800 standard also. 800 standard amended, right? New 800 standard. What 800 standard says, put emphasis of matter paragraph in audit report. Draw attention to basis for accounting. draw attention to basis for accounting. Fine, we will discuss that in 800 series discussion. Immediately after this audit report chapter, we will be beginning 800 series. There we will discuss. Next, how should you present? In exam they will ask you this question: what is emphasis of matter? How to use emphasis of matter para? They will ask you question like this. What you will write? This answer you should write. How do you present? Just a minute. What is the manner of presentation? What is the manner of presentation? Include the para in a separate section of the auditor's report. See, Air India, no, they did the same, right? In a separate, what Air India did, you see here, how Air India did this. Just a minute. Yeah, here it is there. How Air India did this. You see, in audit report, separate side heading is given. Yes or no? Okay, include the matter in a separate section of the audit report, okay, which contains our emphasis of matter. Express the matter being emphasized and give reference. Air India, are they giving reference? Yes, sir. State that your opinion is not modified in respect of the matter. At the end, no, Air India auditors are saying, no, they are saying that our opinion is not modified in respect of the above matter. Accordingly, emphasis of matter paragraph is not a substitute for modified opinion, not a substitute for disclosures in the financials, not a substitute for 570 material uncertainty reporting. They will tell you for what scenarios emphasis cannot be used, circumstances where emphasis cannot be used, where emphasis cannot be used, if at all modified opinion is required on that matter, or it is to be highlighted under material uncertainty related to going concern, or a disclosure is required in financials which a company did not disclose. In all these cases, emphasis cannot be used. That's it. Emphasis of matter paragraph discussion is completed. So emphasis is used to draw attention to the matter which is presented or disclosed in financials, which is fundamental to users understanding. It is fundamental to users. Who feel it is fundamental to users? Auditor felt that. In auditor's judgment, it is fundamental to users understanding of the financial statements. That is emphasis of matter para. That's it. Are you clear? Emphasis of matter. Then we have, so then finally again coming back to SA 705 once again, you know, whenever you decided to give a modified opinion, you cannot straight away give the final audit report, sign and give it to the management. No, never. The auditor shall communicate with the top management, those charged with governance, circumstances leading to modification. Why you are modifying and wordings of the modification. How are you modifying? Nothing but if you are giving modified opinion, you should always tell management that you are going to modify the opinion, why you are modifying the opinion, circumstances, all that, and how is your wordings. If management agree that, then only go further modification. Further, a similar requirement is there in emphasis also. If emphasis of matter paragraph is expected to be included, auditor shall communicate with the top management, including wordings of the para. Simple. You want to give unmodified opinion as per unmodified report format in 700, no need to communicate with management, directly issue it. But you want to modify the report by including emphasis of matter or by modifying opinion, you must communicate priorly to those charged with the governance. I will discuss more about modifying audit report, all that in 260 standard. I don't know how many of you remember 260. One of the significant matter is what? Significant matters to be communicated with the management, right? Those charged with governance. You recollected? Are you able to recollect? One of the significant matter, circumstances that affecting modify, circumstances that leads to modification of report issued by auditor. That is one of the matter which is a significant matter to be communicated with those charged with the governance. I know you are unable to sync because you have never understood the auditing subject thoroughly properly, except those who are attending my fast track class or regular class or previous who watched my marathon. Many students I can very confidently tell they don't really understand audit subject. They see the audit subject in a different way. Believe me guys, you are going to witness true subject and also getting a command on the entire learning. Believe me, I will make you, by the end of this entire marathon sessions of some 18-20 hours, I will make you super strong in audit conceptually. That's it. Just surrender to this. Okay, that's it. Okay, so let me wind up this particular session and we'll continue in the next session. Other matter paragraph, key audit matter. Then what? In this particular chapter, we are going to discuss 710, 720, 600, 610, 620, 299, 570. So much discussion is there. In fact, just a minute. You see, there are so many contents of audit report. There are so many contents of audit report. Right now, what we completed, you know, title, addressee, auditor's opinion, How basis for opinion para works, that also we completed. Auditor responsibility section we completed. Emphasis of matter paragraph we completed. So we are now learning how to draft audit report. Technically speaking, only these elements we completed. Only these elements we completed. There are, what is 570, what is 701, other matter para. Remember, other matter para is different from other information para. Okay, so report on other legal regulatory requirement, signature of auditor, place of signature, date of audit report, you did so much is there. Another 1.5 to 2 hours maximum. This topic along with 600 series will be over. Full 700 series, 600 series, 570, 299. So total approximately 700 series, 6 standards, 600 series, 3, 5, 570, total 11 standards we are completing in this chapter, where the weightage of this 11 chapters and caro all that put together, the weightage of this particular chapter is 50 into 20 marks minimum, where you are getting full clarity, decent amount of clarity and command within just 3 to 4 hours of discussion. That's it. Okay, yes, we'll continue other matter paragraph in the coming session. That's it.